In case you're new here, I go on natural history and painting adventures in my pop-top Toyota Sienna minivan. Today we're visiting Joshua Tree National Park in California. This is the first in a series of videos on the national park, and during this series we'll be visiting both Colorado and Mojave Desert ecosystems. We'll check out a couple of peaks over 5,000 feet or 1,550 meters. We'll visit a native palm tree oasis and of course check out wildflowers and other cool desert plants. We'll also talk about geology because other than the Joshua trees, the park is probably best known for its cool granitic rock formations. Joshua Tree National Park is about 130 miles east of LA. There are three main entrances to the park, two on the north side and one in the south. The two entrances on the north side are the west entrance and the north entrance, which we'll be going through because it is less crowded. Before we do that, we're going to head to our camp spot for the night in Indian Cove Campground. This area of the park has its own separate entrance, and even though it doesn't connect to the rest of the park, it's worth visiting as it has a cool nature trail and a lot of really interesting rock formations. While looking for a place to paint, I'm really enjoying these rocks and I'm looking forward to seeing how the lighting on them is going to change as the sun sinks lower in the sky. I found my spot. Unfortunately, Lilly the dog sniffed this plant as well. It is a type of Cylindra puncha, which is a group of cactuses that are notorious for being spiky and getting stuck in your skin. So when you're exploring the park and the desert in general, it's important not to wear open-toed shoes or sandals, and it can be helpful to carry some tongs, like cooking tongs, to pull cactus joints out of your skin. Definitely don't try to pull it out with your fingers because you can get little tiny hair-like spines in your skin called glochids, which can be really irritating. So you can use duct tape to try to get those out, but definitely don't touch your eyes if you think they might be in your fingers. In the desert, it's really good to be prepared for extremes in temperature as it can be hot in the day and cold at night and super windy. And there's very little cell service in a lot of the park, including Indian Cove, so be prepared for that. Bring lots of sun protection and also water. The cool rocks that you see here, like a lot of the rocks in Joshua Tree National Park, are granitic, so they're basically a type of granite, and they were mainly formed when magma came up and tried to push through the Earth's crust but didn't quite make it through. And then after a while, the magma hardened and it cracked, and then water got into the cracks and eroded it and widened the cracks, and junk and soil got into the cracks, and they got bigger and bigger. And over time, the soil and other stuff above it was washed away by flash floods or just erosion in general. And the rocks that were the magma before became exposed. And that's what most of these cool rock shapes that you see throughout the park are from. But we'll talk more about the geology in greater detail in other videos in this series. If you're enjoying this video, please consider liking and subscribing, as I hope we can grow this channel to get people to appreciate and hopefully protect nature. When we're in the desert, it's important to avoid going off trails, as it's easy to get turned around and lost, resulting in potentially fatal heat illness or injury. And it also makes it harder for others who follow to figure out where the trail is. Staying on designated trails in the desert is also important to help protect tiny wildflowers and camouflage plants, which may also spike you if you step on them. Hiking off-trail can also damage fragile desert biological soil crusts. Biocrusts are living communities of cyanobacteria, lichens, and mosses that are vital for reducing soil erosion, fixing nitrogen, which plants need to survive, and absorbing water so it doesn't run off when it rains in the desert. Within the Mojave and Sonoran desert biomes, including the area of Joshua Tree National Park, biocrusts can be hard for the untrained eye to notice and may just look like regular unconsolidated soil. Once damaged, it takes years for biocrusts to recover, so thank you so much for staying on the trails. Good morning. All done. Thank you for joining me in this first of the series of videos on Joshua Tree National Park. I hope you'll join me for the next video where we climb up over 5,000 feet to get a great vista of the park. See you next time.